Hey everybody, so today I started molding and I set up my own mold. I tried a new process using Lego bricks, and what I found out was that these things can leak um, worse than I thought that they would. So what I did was I have some clean clay. It's a really soft oil-based, wax-based, non-sulfur clay, and I just went through and I smeared this stuff over to plug up all of the little seams and stuff that's in there. So now I'm just going to let this cure, and we'll come back to it probably in the morning, and we'll see how it unmolds. Hey, okay, so we have them unmolded. And I actually molded twice. This is the white pencil. I etched it on there just so I could see how, I'll give you an idea how it would read a little bit. This is black onyx, and this cures ridiculously fast. It actually froze on me mid pour. So as the stream of onyx resin was coming out of the cup, it actually slowed down to stop mid pour, which was kind of freaky to see. I wish I would have recorded that, but I had no idea that was going to happen. That was the first time I ever used it, and I probably wouldn't use it for something this size again. Maybe for smaller applications. But because I think it cured so fast, the teeth on it, if you remember the original model, the teeth on it didn't get into the detail that I wanted. So I took the teeth out of the original and I glued it on there. Now I don't necessarily like this, but I wanted something on there just to kind of see how it would work. It wasn't prepped for that kind of thing. You know, normally if you're gonna apply something like that afterwards, I would have removed the teeth from the clay and then cast it so that the holes would actually get molded, so then those teeth would just stick right in those holes, and you just glue them right in, and then you'd be done. In this case, I just kind of glued them over the top because the teeth didn't get the detail that I wanted. I cured it again using Smoothcast 321, and you can see that the detail on the teeth is much better. This is what was more intended. You can see the overall detail of it. It came out really good. This has a pot life of about 10-20 minutes, and it cures in about 45. So I mean, I like this stuff. I've used it a couple of times now. The difference, I don't know if you can see it. If you look up close, like right in here, for example, you might be able to see some tiny little bubbles, and maybe over in here. And I'm not sure if that was due to the mold, because I know the mold has some air bubbles in it as well, or not. But if you look at this one, regardless of how maybe dirty the surface looks because it's not finished, but the surface itself is pretty solid. There's no air bubbles in it. So I mean, as far as that goes, I like the onyx fast. But for the quality and the detail that I've been able to pick up, I like the 321 a little bit better. So that was the molding process and demolding. I'm going to be working on the base next and going through that process. I'm probably not going to show the molding process because it's the same thing over and over again. You just you mix your mold and you pour it and you wait for it to cure. You demold it and you're done. And then you cast your resin and you're done. One thing I did find out with the when I was molding and it was leaking through the Legos, I posted on social media. So if you follow me on Facebook, thank you first of all. Some comments that were posted to that suggested to build your Lego walls, and then you put a layer of cellophane down, then you put your model in there, and then you pour your mold, silicone rubber. And then it keeps it from leaking. You don't have to put all that extra clay on the outside. I think that's a great idea. I actually used that idea when I was casting the resin. This here is the mold that I used. Obviously, I cut down both sides of the mold, and when you cut down, the more cuts you have in your mold, the greater chance you have for leakage. I wrapped this in cellophane to prevent any leakage. It actually helped hold it together because when you are putting your mold together, you usually back it and then with foam core or wood, and then wrap it in with rubber bands or a mold strap. And in this case, I just used the cellophane to kind of wrap it up nice and snug. I did use a foam core and rubber bands as well. I didn't need to use nearly as many, but it worked out pretty well. And no leaks. The seams were negligible on the cast. So I mean, I was pretty happy with that. On here where we have a bunch of so you can get in there. You can see all those little holes. There's some stuff. It's called XTC 3D, and it's a self-leveling resin that's generally used for 3D printed models to level off all the striations that's created through the 3D printing process. I ordered some of that, and I'm probably going to make a video showing the use of that, the before and after of this. I'm going to put it on in just specific areas because some of this stuff, like there's I don't know if you can see it on the camera, right here in the shoulder, there's like wrinkles and creases. Like right here in the back of the head, there's wrinkles and creases that can potentially go away because that stuff will just level it off. It just fills all the gaps and levels it off. But I don't want it to do that. I just want it to fill all the tiny little pinhole bubbles that are there, and then you can sand it down, prime it, and it's all good to go. So I ordered some of that, and I'm going to be applying that to this. So before we actually finish it off, there'll be that process that I'm going to do. Don't forget to follow me on social media, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you again next time.